What's good, YouTube? It's Mafia. You see the thumbnail, you know why you here. Man, oh man, do we got a little special one for y'all today. So it looks like as recently, a 3-foot demon from Rhode Island has been sentenced to 30 years in the penitentiary for a drive-by shooting that was committed in early 2022, and recently the judge just threw him under the jail. Now, like I said, this man right here, born Jacqueline Rodriguez, he would be a native to the Rhode Island Providence area, and they do have a big gang presence there, mainly the Trinitario. Now, a lot of y'all might remember these boys for doing a lot of vicious crimes, like the one they committed back in early 2019 in New York. Sadly costed the life of Junior Guzman, who was killed for mistaken identity. And this case went worldwide, reaching everywhere.
Surveillance video from the store shows a scared Guzman Feliz run into the store and try to jump behind the counter to find safety. Cruz seems to chase him away, but he says he was confused about what was going on.
En la reacción de cualquier persona que está atrás de un counter, ve a una persona saltando sobre el counter sin decirte nada.
Men drag the teen out of the store and kill him with machetes.
Now, since that tragic incident took place, the men were charged and some of them did get life. But this video ain't about them, it's about the 3-foot demon out of Rhode Island. Just got sentenced to more than 30 years in the penitentiary for doing a drive-by shooting with his crimey, which resulted in a young man, Leonardo Tavares, losing his life.
A man will spend the rest of his life in prison for the drive-by shooting death of a Pawtucket man 3 years ago.
12 News reporter Alex Torres Perez goes over what his loved ones had to say before the sentencing. Alex?
Mike and Shannon, Leonardo Tavares' loved ones asked us not to show their faces as they gave emotional impact statements in court today. Their pain and heartbreak still felt years after the murder.
I wish this never happened. If I could go back and change the hand of time, I would.
But now Jacqueline Rodriguez will have to spend the rest of his life in prison thinking about his actions on May 15th, 2021.
The day my heart shattered into pieces.
Pawtucket police say Rodriguez was the one to pull the trigger after noticing Leonardo Tavares driving through the city. Investigators say the shooting was targeted and part of a gang feud, but families still can't make sense of it.
They say time helps heal, but I don't think this is possible. 3 years later, and when that day replays in my head, the hurt still feels the same. The suffocation I felt when I got the news comes back. The stabbing sensation I feel in my heart comes back just as strong.
They described Leo as a loving and loyal person who put his family, especially his mother and son, first.
If you were part of his life, he would do everything in his power to make sure you were good.
But the grief goes beyond Leo's family into the entire Cape Verdean community.
He didn't just break one heart, he broke many. There's a saying that all Cape Verdeans are related. So the defendant, he didn't just hurt Leo's family, he hurt his own family as well.
Something Rodriguez agrees with.
I'm sorry beyond my words.
And justice is still not done for Leo's family. The second suspect is still in the middle of court proceedings. Todd Alicia had a hearing scheduled for today, but it was continued until next month. Reporting in studio, I'm Alex Torres Perez, 12 News.
The man who pulled the trigger in a deadly drive-by shooting in Pawtucket 3 years ago will spend the rest of his life in prison. 12 News reporter Alex Torres Perez goes over the sentencing and what the victim's loved ones had to say today. Alex?
Well, Mike, the murder trial was actually supposed to begin today, but the suspect took a plea deal, sparring Leonardo Tavares' loved ones of having to relive his final moments. However, the family asked us not to show their faces because the pain is still too much to bear. Jacqueline Rodriguez will spend the rest of his life in prison after Pawtucket police say he pulled the trigger in a targeted drive-by shooting that killed Leonardo Tavares 3 years ago. Police believe it was part of a gang feud, but loved ones say Leo was a loving and loyal person who was working to better himself for his family, especially his mother and son.
The community has lost someone who was on a path for change, someone whose story could have inspired others, but now we're left with pain of what could have been.
Leo's nonviolence teacher says she was devastated and broken by his death.
Despite my efforts, I couldn't protect him from it. I couldn't protect him from the violence that claimed his life.
She pleads for Rodriguez to spend his time in prison to change.
Maybe, just maybe, something good can come from this tragedy.
Rodriguez has spent his time at the ACI reflecting on those actions and had this to say to the family.
I'm sorry beyond my words. I wish this never happened. If I could go back and change the hands of time, I would. And I just apologize.
Rodriguez does have the possibility of parole, but justice is still not done for the victim's family. A second suspect is still in the middle of court proceedings, and they have a hearing set for next month. Reporting live in studio, I'm Alex Torres, 12 News.
Now, his crime me, which would be his future co-defendant, is still on the run. He is also an active gang member from the Trinitarios out of Rhode Island. And since it has been over 3 years since this deadly incident took place and he has not been captured, it looks like he's not going to be captured in a while. Rumor is he's been hiding out in Trinidad, which has weak extradition laws, so it doesn't look like he's going to be captured anytime soon. But as far as little man right here, man, it looks like he's going to have to do a little bit of time for a little bit of crime. And if y'all looking at the date, man, St. Patrick Day is tomorrow. St. Patrick Day weekend just ended, and it's only right we talk about the 3-foot demon, the leprechaun himself, that doubled back for his pot of gold, but ended up shooting an innocent bystander that was just on his way to play basketball. The kid didn't even have nothing to do with the situation or the gangs that surrounded his area in which he grew up in. So y'all just remember, man, a little bit of attitude with a little gun and a big ego could get you some big time. But man, y'all let us know what y'all think about this in the comments, because this is a crazy one. But until then, it's Mafia.
Police say Rodriguez was the one to pull the trigger after noticing Leonardo Tavares driving through the city. Investigators say the shooting was targeted and part of a gang feud, but families still can't make sense of it.